Hi there, folks. Justin Chariot from Valid8 here today with you. I'm going to walk us through our M3 4G UE emulator today. Our 4G UE emulator provides a cost-effective solution for generating realistic UE calls in testing scenarios. It is a scalable solution that enables the generation of up to hundreds of calls over the RF interface. It is useful for eNodeB feature and capacity testing in any use case where real call generation is needed. It generates IP traffic including ping, UDP, and HTTP, and it has a customizable configuration file for configuring the traffic. And here we can see some of those configuration file parameters that can be configured. If you'd like to look at these in detail, you can pause the video. If not, I'm going to turn the video over to AJ at this point. Thank you.
This is a Valid8 N3 UE emulator with software-defined radio. Our UE emulator can emulate up to 200 UEs, and it operates on all LTE bands. It also supports 5, 10, and 20 MHz bandwidths. This is our UE emulator application's main page, and under the configuration you can see your different configurations for different tests. As for right now, we're only doing default testing, so we have the default configuration file. And you can click on this button to edit the configuration file. And it will open up the configuration file in our built-in web editor. And if you scroll down into the main configuration and under the UE emulator configuration, you'll be able to the simulation profile. Under the simulation profile, you can define up to 200 UE simulations, and each simulation profile has its own IMSI number and the simulation type and the profile. And the simulation type defines what kind of simulation it's doing. So we have the option of doing a ping or a UDP. And in the profile, you can define the duration of the simulation and the start delay, the ID of the simulation, and also destination address of the simulation, where the simulation will be sending the packets to. Also, you can define the payload, and if the simulation type is UDP, you can define the bit rate. And right now we have 4 simulations defined in this configuration file, but you can define up to 200 simulations. And now we're back at the main application window, and we'll select our default configuration file and load the configuration. Once the configuration is loaded, you'll see under the instances, you'll see how many UEs you would be able to run, and it's based on the license. So if you're licensed to run at 200 UEs, you'll see a 200 here. And right now we are licensed to run at 20 UEs, so this application will be able to run up to 20 UEs. And in our main application control, you'll see a start, stop, abort, and events. The start will start the UEs, and stop will stop the UEs, and abort will stop the UEs between the simulation. And you can also click on event to see the event logs of the UEs. Under the volume, you can select how many UEs you want to simulate. And right now we selected 1 UEs to simulate, but if you are licensed up to 200 UEs, you can select the 200 UEs and you'll be able to run the 200 simulations. You can also define the length of the simulation and the gap of the simulations between each simulation, and also stagger. So right now we're gonna select one UE and start the simulation. And once the simulation starts, you'll see one UE is actively connecting. And if you click under the event, you will be able to see that the first UE with this IMSI number is connected and the simulation has been started. And if you go to our eNodeB side, we can see the simulation is coming into our eNodeB, and we can see the bit rate of the uplink and the downlink. And if we go back to our UE emulator, we'll be able to see that the simulation has been completed, and the simulation result is we have sent 30 ping requests and received 30 ping requests back.